I notice that you hear the word submission a lot. And in many contexts, you are hearing, men saying, I want a woman to be submissive. And in many platforms, you hear the women, our sisters, they want a man to be the leader. I want to submit to my husband. I will submit to a good man. I will submit to a man that leads. So today I want to talk about the word submission and the context in which it's being used. I hope a lot of our people find this episode right here, because a lot of people ain't going to agree with it. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you some gems so we can understand how we can stop this foolishness, stop the misconception, stop the uneducated direction that we have been guided in, because these things, these terms, these terminologies, these things are being used in the wrong direction. So today we're going to talk about submission. What submission means in a relationship. What being submissive in a relationship means. And so here's the uncut truth. The Black Man in Suits, Urban Nation. Submission is not a part of our DNA. Never have, never will. But I think we've gotten to a point, because we've seen so many different examples, whether it's movies, TVs, lifestyles, or the rich and famous, because we're following an example from the 1%ers, the majority, let's just say it like that, right? The controllers, the organizers, and whether that could be produced from, socialization from film and what we've seen, the imagery that we're being directed in. We see, and we have seen, their direction as being a way of, this is what life should be. And I tell you, just pause for a moment. Let's just think about what has being submissive guiding the white man of our society. So let's just think about that, because that's where we derive it from. So let's just be real with that. We ain't gonna sugarcoat it here, right? We ain't gonna sugarcoat it. We've got that word, or shall I say, that way of home direction from them. So let's think about what that has gotten them. It's gotten them to a point now where when there's, in our society, there's a whole revolution, whole social revolution of women's empowerment. So where do you think that comes from? It comes from the direction of submissive. It comes from the direction of submission. That's where it comes from. White men have led their homes with an iron fist, abusive, misogynistic, even to the point that when they was raising their young daughters, they turned them into misogynists. Those young girls, those daddy's girls will grow up to be women who hate men or abuse men and etc. It's right in our faces. But we continue to operate from that narrative that has never been a part of our culture. But because we operate in it and we use it, we go by that direction. It is why we continue to have the dysfunction, the miscommunication, the negativity, and all the distance that we have today. See, fellas, your experiences that you are having with women when you date them comes from your mindset of that. Same thing goes for the women. I mean, that's just real. Let's just keep it real with that. But because we don't talk about that enough, we don't dissect it as being part of it. There's a lot of people that's going to disagree because they're going to go and Bible thump it, and they're going to pull out these English written biblical texts to talk about what a woman's supposed to do, what a man's supposed to do, and etc. Here's the uncut truth to that. Submission, a woman being submissive to a man has never been a part of human life in general. It is a direction. It is a tool, a psychological tool used to control, to narrate. So let this let this message even get to those who, because there are many of us that use it, but the way we dissect it is different. Because I've heard some humble examples. I've heard some humble, statements, and you know, you know some good and kind people, some well respectful people who use it and live in an idealism and thrive in it. But it's still a misdirection because the way they're using it, those who you see have where it works, where it seems to work out great. These are that these are the part of our society that where the miseducation is used properly, but the education of it is misguided. So, to give you a case in point, principle of submission in a relationship is not giving up self-worth, nor is it you give up everything you are, what you desire, your passions, your work, skills, your mindset to be bonded with another man or a woman. That is not what it means in a relationship. That's not what submission in a relationship. That's not the principle of it. It is being submissive to the process. Okay? It's being submissive to the process of a relationship. This process has three pillars. I call them PLRs: priority, loyalty, and reciprocity. Priority is the ability to put your partner's need and happiness above your own. I coined this statement that your partner's happiness is as essential as your own. That's real shit. If you don't believe in that, you're going to have a lot of issues and headbutting and conflict in your relationships. You really are. And see, I drive that back to the way we dissect the whole love language thing now. That's a misdirection. I'll do something separate on that one. Priority is making time for them, listening, supporting their needs, and showing them that they matter to you at all costs, at all times. Now, think about priority, right? It's not neglecting yourself or your responsibilities. So you can't lose your self worth. It's finding a balance because everything has a balance. What what is balance? It's leveled. And so the beauty of the dating is that when you're dating, your goal is to, if you're attracted to that person, your goal with dating them is to find a balance that works for you both. Let's date, let's go out, let's spend time together, let's do these things, let's share things together to see how we balance each other. So with priorities, you cannot let distractions or temptations interfere with your commitment and devotion. Priority is choosing your partner every day, even when it's hard or inconvenient. Now, where loyalty comes in, loyalty is the quality of being faithful and trustworthy. Capitalized trustworthy. It equates to being honest, not curt. We got that mixed up too. Respectful and consistent. I don't think we have to go into much detail about what loyalty means, right? But for some people, you got to tell them loyalty is not lying, cheating, betrayal. It's none of those things. It's not hiding something. It's not being fearful to tell them something because you feel it's going to hurt their feelings. No, you got to find a way to deliver it respectfully. Loyalty is standing by your partner's side, defending them and protecting them from harm. That goes for man and woman. That goes for man and woman. So, ladies, just like that man supposed to stand by your side and protect you, you supposed to do the same thing. See, we got this unbalanced shit going because we think the only thing men and women differ on is your biological makeup. When it comes to everything else, it's balanced. So reciprocity is kind of a little bit more detail, right? Because there's this like the power scale can kind of go up and down with reciprocity, but reciprocity is a mutual exchange of energy, support, and other different types of generalized given traits that you have. You know, so let's generalize reciprocity. So a principle of it is that you do it from the heart. You do it with no expectations. But within that, doing it from the heart and no expectation, you are warranted to receive it. So whatever you're doing, your partner should be giving that back in some form or fashion. However that form, you know, uh, relates to them. But that's where we get to that love language tunnel vision that we got going on. Because see, the purpose of dating, one of the purpose of your dating is for you to pay attention, Pay attention. Not this idealism of expectation, but to pay attention. See, we use love language as a measure of expectation. This is what I expect you to do to be because this is what I like. No, 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 no. That is not what that is. Your, your receive of your love language is a bonus. It should not be a demand. Because it's very important for you to pay attention to what your partner's love language is. How do they show their love? I'm gonna do a separate one on that one because a lot of folks ain't gonna like that one either. Now I did one before, but I wasn't as detailed that I'm gonna go into. So the principle of reciprocity is giving and receiving. It means being generous and attentive to your partner's needs and their desires. And receiving, and again, receiving the same thing from them. You know, reciprocity is not keeping score. You don't do that. But we do that a lot. You know, I hear through the voices on these channels. Everything people saying, everything they're saying, are from an aspect of I'm gonna keep score of what you're doing. I match energy. No, that's keeping score. Matching energy is keeping score. Stop doing that. Reciprocity is not being selfish, stingy with your resources or your emotions. Look here. If you can't be yourself with somebody, if you have to be on guard, y'all not yoked. And that just is what it is. Stop going around it. It's important that you always make somebody who you have brought into your life feel valued and fulfilled. Now, I'm not saying that you carry their baggage. I'm going to do another one about baggage claim. That don't mean you carry the baggage that they come with. That don't mean that if they, and what I mean by that is if you, sometimes we meet people who are carrying a lot of hurt. And that hurt can make them, it changes their personality and they act a certain way. And sometimes they can be so used to that is what they thrive on. So it doesn't mean you change who you are to try to fulfill that deed or that desire that sometimes people have become accustomed to through very abusive ways. No, you got to know when to get out when it gets to that point. I'm telling you, if you want peace and tranquility within your relationship, better follow these principles. Priority, loyalty, and reciprocity are the keys to creating a harmonious and lasting relationship with anybody, whether it's romantic, whether it's casual, whether it's work, family, friends, no matter what. Not easy to follow, but they are worth the effort. Most important, what is required is patience. Sometimes you got to be patient with people, especially when you reach a certain age and then you out trying to date. You guys have to understand, if you're 30 plus, 40 plus, and you out dating, you're now bringing somebody who's lived a whole nother life outside of you. Just like they have to spend time with you to know your ways, you have to do the same thing. And you can't have these high ass expectations for a stranger. You just gotta hope and pray that you guys are equally yoked, that the balance or their experience, what they've been through, matches yours, that it does not make you compromise the integrity of who you are. I'm telling you, these things require your dedication to love and the passion of it. And in turn, you must submit to it. You must submit to being dedicated to these principles. If not, if you don't understand this, what will happen? If you don't understand this, what would happen is you will continue to find yourself drawn into and connected to the negative stigma, the negativity that is bounced around out there over and over and over again. And once again, fellas, get that submissive shit out your head about somebody's supposed to be at your beck and call. There's that's the foolishness. You know, the same thing for the ladies, even when I hear them say it. It's about, you know, their idealism of it is them about, it's about man taking over everything and then they get to rest and not do it and not do nothing. Because they finally realize how rough it is to have to get the grind, get it in, you know, get that money to bring it home. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough on everybody. So let's stop acting like that one gender has it better in that category than any other. It's a false misrepresentation. And it's a huge miseducation. That's why mental health is at the brink to where it is now. So I'm telling y'all, man, get this to your people. Get them to teach them the new ways. New educate. Understand what it's meant to truly walk in being woke. What it truly means to walk and your eyes are open to the truth. What these words mean, what true desire is, what passion is, what creativity is. How when you follow the principles of this process and you submit to that, not submitting to a person, but you submit to these things. These things will teach you how to have those checks and balances. When you see those red flags, you see them easily, and you don't compromise that. You don't ignore them. And I promise you, it will lead you right where you need to be. It'll lead your relationship right where it needs to be. So I'm telling y'all, if you want peace and tranquility within your relationship, follow these principles and watch your bond grow stronger and stronger. That's Sam J. I'm your host, Sam J. Black Men in Suits, Urban Nation. See y'all again on the next episode. Make sure you guys check out our YouTube channel at Black Men in Suits, Urban Nation, Instagram, Twitter. Check us out. Give me a ring, give me a shout out, give me a hashtag. Hey, share these episodes, love them, like them, and also subscribe. Hey.